Hello folks, old Bubba with you again, and we're downtown Augusta, Georgia. There's an old place called the Depot. It's Augusta Municipal building over there, law offices and stuff. We're down here on the corner of Telfair Street and 7th Street here in Augusta. And what I wanted to bring to you here today is a little bit of Georgia history here. It's one of the birthplace or Woodrow Wilson home, President of the United States. See, years back when he was a child, Woodrow Wilson's daddy was a preacher at the Presbyterian church down here. And there's the Presbyterian church right across the road where his daddy was pastor at. And here, across the road here, and give you a shot of what old Woodrow Wilson's old home looked like. You could tell back in the day then, these were not no asphalt streets, they probably were cobblestone streets. But folks, go back and so I can get in focus is, this is the old Woodrow Wilson home. Said Boyhood home, I said birthplace, but I'm not sure whether he was born here in Georgia or not, but I know as a boy, his daddy was pastor at the Presbyterian church over there, and you can see the steeple on the church and such. Down there, another famous landmark used to be the Augusta Civic Center. It's named after famous son of Augusta, James Brown. It's now called the James Brown Arena. But here, right here on the corner of Telfair Street and 7th Street is the Woodrow Wilson homes. I want to get across here so I can read that state marker and see what it says here. Right down next to it is another home where we had a Supreme Court justice at, and there's a marker here. We've got a museum here also. They went and took the brick sidewalk and made bricks out of it. But it says here, you get a picture of it. It says Woodrow Wilson later became 27th President of the United States. He lived in this mansion of the First Presbyterian Church, of which his father, Dr. Joseph R. Wilson, was pastor from 1858 to 1807. Wilson was born in Staunton, Virginia in 1856, and he later attended the University of Virginia Law School, graduating in 1881, having previously graduated from Princeton University. He practiced law in Atlanta, and in 1885 was married to the manse of the Savannah Independent Presbyterian Church to Ellen Louise Axon of Rome, Georgia. He later studied political science at Johns Hopkins and taught at studied political science at Johns Hopkins and Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut. He was called to Princeton as professor of jurisprudence and political economy. In 1890, became president of Princeton in 1902. He was elected governor of New Jersey in 1910 and president of the United States in 1912. Being re-elected in 1916, he led this country to victory in the First World War and personally attended the Paris Peace Conference, where he fathered the ill-starred League of Nations. He became ill in 1909 and died in 1924, same year my mother was born. During his boyhood here, his playmate and next-door neighbor was Joseph Worker Lamar, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Georgia, 1902 and 1905 of the Supreme Court of the United States from 1910 till his death in 1916. So folks, Georgia has lots and lots of history. There's just front door steps, no telling how many times as a boy Woodrow Wilson played here. This is just a little bit of history. It says the boyhood home of President Woodrow Wilson, a National Historic Mark, 419 17th Street. Well, folks, as we're looking on now, I want to grab another little trademark right here. Walk down this street here a little bit and get you to the front. Is Augusta's famous William B. Bell Auditorium. And everybody locally always called it the Bell Auditorium. Here, whenever they had famous people like Elvis Presley come here, That's where Elvis Presley performed, and many other country stars and many wrestling events were held here. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of history about Augusta. This is old Bubba, spending a little time down here downtown Augusta. And if you enjoyed this, how about leaving a comment, whether it's good or bad. Until the next time, this is Bubba saying enjoy the journey. And how about hit like, dislike, and subscribe to the Jewish Redneck Prepper. Until the next time, this is Bubba saying shalom and God bless.